Radio check. Clerk at work is the AO. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can join us today for some Motorsport Manager. Well, word of warning. It's not exactly a full run today. We're just going to try and see if the start for the 2023 season is going to be good enough. Because as a review, the previous stream we did this, we actually did the preseason for 2023 already. But the results were pretty poor, with some engine leaks to worry about, and apparently some underpowering, or rather some underperformance on the wheels and the brakes. So I don't really have confidence that this is going to be a good start, and I have a really strong feeling that we might actually drop down to last for this run. In any case, I'm betting things aren't going to go as well as they should be. If things start to flounder, I may have to do at least one restart, and it still does not pan out, I may have to call the stream in for the day. This is more like a test, rather a test to see if I can still handle this despite the fact that the start isn't exactly up to snuff. Let's hope we can actually do something right with this. Also, yeah, I muted the music because for some reason it keeps triggering the copyright bots, and it mutes most of the parts that have the music on. So as a precaution, I took the music out for a bit. Anywho, this is going to be the first round of the 2023 season, and it's going to be a bad practice. I can feel like parts are still under snuff, and I still have to worry about trying to get more money. Jacob. Sophia's a bit on the low. Probably get her up there. If only I could put Jacob in number 2 and not get Sophia. But problem is her morale drops pretty quickly since we don't really use her much. Time limit though. Okay, so it's gonna be a bit more on speed, so there's gonna be slight increase in speed balance handling. There's gonna be a bit of understeering since corners and all that. Aerodynamics definitely need more speed there though. Probably also need some more downforce because of all the corners. So probably that could do it. And we're going for super softs, which we'll see for the time being, since he's the one with the better mechanic for that. For Perez, I think we're going for a slight adjustment to, just a very slight adjustment to acceleration. And some more suspension stiffness. Slight adjustment to downforce. Tire choice, she'll be on softs for the time being. Okay, let's run it. Hopefully this is not going to be a bad start. You're going there. Vosu is going on 12. No, he's going on a no. It's in super soft, so maybe he can survive this for the rest of the run. Meanwhile, Perez could probably also do that. But I think I'm going to put her on 8. Because she has a lower feedback rating. See if things go out fine today. Hopefully our settings are correct. I should have put notes on how our setups are every year so that I don't forget about them. Like I should have saved that last time, but they do change it every year after all, since you know, different parts and different setups by default. Things seem to be going good so far with Vosu, though. The arrow setup is proper. But, well, he keeps saying it's fantastic, but sometimes it just comes out as orange. Good feedback from Perez as well. Setup knowledge is still pretty low, though, and we're only down to 9 minutes on testing. Okay, handling is still good, by the looks of it. Yep. Pretty slow feedback from Perez. Bosu now at 7th and Perez at 11. Adjusting the handling might give Perez a bit more of a boost. Okay, gear ratios seem to be good with Bosu for now. We're gonna have to adjust her handling and downforce. But acceleration and speed seems to be working really nice for the time being. So probably gonna be a little more responsive on the handling, maybe. And probably adjust the speed just slightly, ever so slightly. See if this works. Keep the same tires and get her rolling out. Basu, meanwhile, still at 8. Not exactly going far with the knowledge of the driver knowledge so far. Not much of a complaint from Vosu as he's getting some personal bests here. 1 minute and 8.69 seconds. Not bad. Despite the fact that we do have a bit of an underpowered car. At the very least, the heating doesn't seem to be much of an issue with Super Softs and Vosu. Although we could do with better speed. Right, aero setup seems to have been fixed mostly. It's still taking a while to get her knowledge up for some reason. Vosu's getting some personal bests though. Ah, that dropped a bit. Couldn't finish the last sector on a better note than his previous try. Let's put him back in. Looks like he's the one behind on feedback. Okay, Perez also needs a change to her handling, apparently. Okay, downforce is great. Handling is excellent, but his speed could sure use a bit more adjustment by the looks of it. So probably a little more acceleration. Just a tad bit. Stints seem to be still on the good lowdown. We'll just have to keep the last wheel up. Perez, I can probably bring her in now. Yep, enough time for Vosu to clear out of the paddock. Handling is now poor. Well, handling was already poor before, but it looks like it didn't do much. So I think we need to give it a bit more of a softer, or rather a harder run. Some more understeer maybe, and then the acceleration be short. Tire choice should still be the same. Hopefully this time her performance won't be too bad. Although her setup knowledge is actually pretty high as far as we're concerned. And now we're down to the last minute of testing. Or rather, last minute of practice. And it looks like Vosu got his speed set up a bit better now. Hopefully we can both get them on high. Problem is, I don't know if we can actually be in the running for at least top 5. Seeing as our car's performance isn't exactly up to snuff right now. And Vosu even drops to 9th place. With Dawson getting a 1/7 of a second out of him. Perez down to 13th, though. Not exactly looking too good for our boy and girl here. Gansler still pretty much on the top of the leaderboards today, much like last season. But here's the problem. Looks like it's going to be raining again. Although weather estimates say that by around lap 8 or probably lap 9, it's going to be a bit drier. So let's just keep these guys up. Also raise trim. While for Perez, I think I'm going to need her for quick fixes and race trim as well. Our setup is actually pretty nice, all things considered now. So no need to change any of that. The fact that tires are going to be wet for most of the race means that we don't want to we don't want inters right now. I don't want to spend time trying to change tires when we can just use that to try and gain a gap against the other teams. And since it's a 22 lap, no, it's not 22, it's actually 30. It's a 30 lap race, so as much as possible, we'll try to at least get one. Let's try and make it a one pit race again. If not, we'll have to rely on 11 and 22 to get us through. So far, we're just gonna have to keep them at a neutral and medium. Can't really expect to push in this weather, especially when it's gonna be a bit wet for another 8 laps, I suppose. They're gonna be fine. Let's keep it at that. I don't want to waste inters, you know. Everybody else is on inters, though. Let's see if things don't go up and out. Here we go. Ooh, poor acceleration there for both our drivers, and now they are down one position each. I think we're gonna have to push them up a bit, just so their tires get some more heating up. Wetness is gonna be a bit more higher than this, but we'll have to let them hang back a bit while the tires get some more heat up and the road gets a little wetter. Tire wear is not exactly playing friendly with us right now, as we're already at 93 and 92% just at the start of the second lap. We're way far from any durability test here. Now both our racers are now behind, as everybody else is on inters. Hopefully, that doesn't do much for us once they start switching over to wet road conditions. We're going to switch for probably softs and super softs by 11 or 12, if the weather permits. That is. Come on, please switch. Please switch. I didn't want to go here like this. I'd even accept engine problems right now. Fuel's still good, but the tire wear is not exactly doing good, helping our lap times right now as we start lap 5. Although, surprisingly, we managed to get past Elsadat and Ramsey today. Or right now, rather. We are now 15th and 16th with Perez on top, or ahead of Vosu, or 17 seconds behind the race leaders who are still driving on inters for some reason. And we managed to get ahead of everybody who have now switched to wets. Hopefully we can keep the tires up until the middle of the, or rather at least until the end of lap 10. And now I think we can go for neutral, since they are now well and heated. Now we're at the start of lap 7, still on the lead, but we're getting ganged up on by Dawson, who's just a few lengths behind. Let's hope nobody has a cornering maestro in their skills, because I have no counter to somebody who can out-corner my drivers. Perez still ahead of Vosu. There's a bit of a 3-car gap between them for some reason. The tire wear, or rather tire temperature, is going down a little faster with Perez here. Thankfully, tire wear is going down, but tire temperature is going down faster than expected. But tire wear is still within manageable. Still within a manageable gap. Problem is, apparently the wetness is gonna stay until at least lap 15, so we might have to switch to inters by. We might have to switch inters by lap 11. As 21 laps remain with the start of lap 10 here. While Sue, for some reason, complaining about being second fiddle to Perez, despite being the junior equal driver, as everybody else is now behind us. Tire wear really starting to do its thing as our cars are now down to 33 and 29 respectively. Probably have to call in Perez first. Pitting for inters here? We want to pit for inters yet? Maybe not. Maybe we can run it for another lap or two as the water goes down a bit. Though she's already starting to struggle with tire wear, which is a bit of a problem. And the speed is also going down for both of our drivers. I think this is a good time as any to switch over to inters for a bit. Keep the fuel as it is. Parts still seem to be in a bit of a rundown, but I think we need to get the front wing fixed up a bit. Hopefully that wouldn't affect her numbers much as we enter lap 12. Dawson sneaking up 5 cars behind, or 5 cars lengths behind. Shorting up to now 4 by the looks of it. The mid-packers here on top 5 with Parker and Ramsey just behind Dawson. Perez giving up her first place position as she enters the pits. Not exactly looking too hot for everybody else here. And Vosu is now down to 18. Hopefully, if we switch over to softs for this one, we won't suffer as much. No need to worry about fuel and parts, but I don't think I want to send him out to do any repairs because our pit stop times are going to be awful. So we're going to send Vosu out for softs already because by the looks of it, the tire, or rather the track will be dry within the next 3 laps, so he's going to be okay, I feel. Eight seconds out on the pit stop. And Perez is now down to 15th because of that, though. But she's now on inters, and she's looking pretty nice. I think we keep her conserved. Probably have to switch her out by the end of lap 20. It should be enough to keep her in the lane for the rest of the race. As Vosu now drops to 9th, or rather 10th, heading out of the circuit. Gonna put him down to neutral to keep the temperatures well within conservable limits. Unfortunately, oh crap. No, you're not pitting for inters, bud. You can handle this just fine. It's gonna be dry in a few. Perez managing to sneak out and capture Vosu's 14th place, but she's complaining that Vosu was a little too close to her for comfort. And Perez managed to sneak up on 2 other drivers in front of Benetti and Silveira, and she's now at 12th. Looks like everybody else is also pitting, with some damage to some of the cars as well. For some reason, Silveira seems to be having issues with her car tires. She's now down to 21% already. Is there a chance we can actually get back in the middle of the pack here? Very unlikely. I don't think we can actually get a good result despite all of this, Ooh, Volsu manages to get over Silvera and snatches 11th. I don't think we can actually stay at least in the midfield till the end of the race. But I'm praying we can actually keep that up for a bit more. And Perez is now at first again, as everybody else is pit for fresh tires. I think it's time to push her on inters and then send her over to softs, maybe? But 16, 17. No, we're gonna put her in softs after the next lap. We're just gonna have to push the... Lalpeclua is getting blue flagged by being way behind. Why is she on conserve and low though? I don't get it. Oh, it's because of the automatic blue flag. This is the first time I actually got a blue flag in this game, I think. Well, the first time my drivers were the ones who benefited from a blue flag. Anyway, Vosu is now at 5th as the road conditions started to improve in the middle of the 16th lap. He's pretty much sneaking up on Dawson. He's also gone down, or rather he's driving conservatively as they try to keep the pace for the next half of the race. Meanwhile, Perez here getting a bit of a good gap going as road conditions continue to dry up. We might be able to sneak up another lap here, and then we can put her in softs as Vosu goes up to 4th as everybody else is pitting up. Fortunately, Dawson is still there and keeping the pace, while Parker, another leading driver for Viper, is just 10 car paces away, I think. Now make that 20. This is a bit further than I thought it would be. Oh no, it's a full corners distance. What the heck? Perez here coming up on the last run as she now overtakes Balkan. Balkan getting a blue flag on the home corner. Another first for our team here. And now we've only got 3 laps remaining as lap 18 comes upon us and tire conditions are now near dry. This may be a good time as any to switch her over to softs for the rest of the race. And probably give her more fuel. An extra 2, maybe? No. Extra 7. Extra fuel for 7 laps would be nice. Parts conditions, though, I don't think I want to do anything for these right now, but the engines is really, really bad at 38%. 3-second extra. I'm not too sure I want to do something about that. We've already got issues with the fuel being 7.3% or 7.3 seconds on our lap times, and I don't believe this this exchange, or rather this estimate for the lap or the pit exit placing is correct. But between the fact that we're still at lap 18 and the fact that this engine is now at 38, there's a good chance, if any, that we might have to get that engine fixed up right now. So just to be on the safe side, we're sending her into the pits at the end of lap 18. Hopefully she can still keep up her position later, as Vosu is now the one fighting to stay in the game for Watson Industries. And there she is. That's Perez sticking it out. Hopefully she can get out fast enough. And now she actually went down to 6th or 8th. And now there's a bit of excess fuel in the pipe there. Hopefully we can keep the tires hot enough for it to be, for the tire wear to be less of an issue in the long run as we now enter lap 19. Vosu still in 3rd. But his tires might need a change after this. For some reason, though, Dawson seems to be having issues on his own, and he's getting warnings on his car. Let's see if we can keep it in a tight spot for the for another lap or two. As we enter lap 20. Thankfully, tire wear is still at a good 58% for Vosu, while Perez is still at 94 with neutral and medium on both sides. Pretty close distance, though, even though it's still a racer's gap at 4.3 seconds behind the leader, who is Parker. Parker is also down to 52% on her super softs, with a good chance that she'll be taking a tire change in the next lap or two. Dawson still has that repair warning on his car, and likely chance he'll have to pit in for the next lap. Never mind. Looks like he's going at it still. As we enter lap 21, tire is still good. Fuel, though, might need to change it soon. While Perez is out here in the back attempting to overtake Ramsey. Hang on. Anyway, where were we? Well, Sue's still there. Perez has managed to snatch 7th from Ramsey, though. Taking over from that rather neutral corner over there in the back. Weather conditions considerably dry until the end of the race, so that's going to be helpful for us. We're just praying that Perez can keep up the tires until the end of the race, because I'm not planning to send her back to the pit right now. Vasu, meanwhile, still has 47% on his tires, but his fuel is now down to 4 laps. Perez now going for Chihanuna, rather. Hopefully she can actually get there fast enough. And now she gets 6th. Question is, can we keep Vosu in the pit or out of the pit for another lap? Because I don't think he's going to be able to survive with just 3.93 laps there to go. So it's entirely possible that we have to switch him now to soft soon. Only 8 laps to go. So a fresh switch to softs might be helpful in keeping him in the fight for the rest of the race. Thankfully, because of Nurse, we probably won't worry much about his engine condition, so I don't think I'm gonna need to fix his engine parts right now. Let's hope. Let's hope that he can actually get back on top after this. Hang on. Let's see here. Everybody else is on soft, though, so definitely need to switch out now before it's too late, because if we wait a little too long to change him out, there's a good chance that the race mid-pack will get over him. So let's just go here. Hopefully it won't hurt his condition much. As Vosu is now down to super soft, so let's get him into neutral. He's now down to 6th, or rather 8th. As Arbeloa gets ahead of him just outside the pit lane. Though the race leaders so far are currently in the red in most of their tires. Parker is now down to 15. Dawson is down to 29, and Gansler is down to 29 as well. And he still has to worry about parts conditions here. Perez, meanwhile, is at 5th, still going good. Fuel is still a bit of a non-issue, as we have 9 laps of fuel at least. We've still got 8 laps to go, though, so we're not going to push her just yet. Tire condition still good, 70%. Not going to push her so far unless unless that needle goes down another line or two. So it might be advisable to push her a bit further on the tires. And looks like El Sadat is now tail ender and is going to be blue flagged if we get close enough to him. Gansler now takes the lead as as Parker goes down as Dawson and Parker go down into pits. Bosu might get a chance to get back in the top 5 here as everybody else is now in pits trying to switch over to softs or super softs. While Perez is now at second. Hopefully we can keep her in there. Now it's time to push her up before the tires die. Now at lap 24, still no sign that Perez can get... Oh, never mind. Looks like Vosu got over Arbeloa. He's now in 4th. Just before hitting the home turn there, Dawson, meanwhile, still struggling to drive despite the fact that he has some car issues to deal with. Meanwhile, Gansler is now in the pits with a good chance for Perez to get pole here and stay there. El Sadat, meanwhile, suffering once again as he's now getting blue flagged just outside of the home turn before the start-end line here. A very, very good chance for Perez to snatch pole. Hopefully she can hand on as we now enter lap 25. Bosu also on the podium, currently at 3rd. Still good on temperature and tire wear, 82%. Probably have to put Perez at neutral as we push her a bit higher on driving. Dawson really keeping it tight here, though, which is a bit of an issue because there's a good chance he might have to retire because of those car parts that need fixing. Hopefully we don't suffer the same fate as we now enter lap 26. Unfortunately, it looks like Arbeloa is going to try and get one over Vosu again, even though he's also having issues, and his tire wear is not something to write home about. Can we keep it in until the end of the race? Not exactly confident about that. Perez is now down to 48% on her tires and dropping rapidly. I don't want to push her further than she is. So let's hope we don't have to worry about that in the long run. She's now down to the 4th, or rather the 27th lap of the race with 4 laps remaining, and she manages to set a personal best of 1 minute and 9.7 seconds. Tire wear might be an issue, so might be forced to order a push-up here. As Dawson still drives through here, even though he's already suffering from more car parts under the weather here. Bosu almost got overtaken by Arbeloa on the last run, but he manages to sneak away. Now Arbeloa isn't the only one with an issue here, as Gansler, who's still driving despite the damaged parts, is also behind him. 3 car length. Perez still driving here, but she's now down to 35% as we enter lap 28. We have issues as we have parts here. Esteban, though, managing to snatch 5th, only to be told to retire at the last second as most of her parts have gone bone dry. Conditions here on the side, we're still in a good way mostly. 21% on the gears and 20% on the front wings. Hopefully she doesn't suffer any serious conditions on the way out, as we are just about ready to go into the home stretch of the race. Delenquist, the other veteran of the 2022 season, has also retired with some serious mechanical issues today. That's going to be another notch against Zampelli Engineering. And Delenquist is definitely not happy. Now down to 30%. Can she keep it for another 2 laps? As we start lap 29 with 2 laps remaining, Vosu is now up to 2nd. Unfortunately, the tire wear is now really affecting Perez. Can they keep their positions, though? A 1-2 with an exchange would be nice, but they need to keep Gansler out of the running as we enter the final lap of the Black Sea race of the 2023 European Racing Series season. Just a bit more, and the boys and the girls are going to be able to get it. Let's see if they can actually get home. In a 1-2, this is a first for Watson Engineering. 1-2 win for the boy and the girl. Actually, good performance. Terrifying preseason news aside, this is actually unexpected for our driving start. Probably the first time we managed to get pole and a 1-2 to boot. They'll definitely be happy about that. Let's see the news. I think we have the weather to thank for that, as we managed to keep it in wets for a good portion of the race. We didn't have to worry about switching to inters for both our riders, because thankfully Vosu is decent enough that he managed to keep it in wets for as long as he could, and then he switched it over to softs as the road started to dry up. And then he switched to his specialty super softs at just the right moment to keep him in the running. Perez, meanwhile, managed to keep the tires and the parts in a good position, despite the fact that she seemed to have struggled for a good deal of the mid-race. Fortunately, that helped us keep up on the run, and thankfully, we also kept our pit stops low at 2 each. Probably the only team this leg of the race, or this leg of the season, who did it, and we were pretty much lucky to get that up 2-2. Let's look at everything else. The live timings. 23 seconds, 25. Oh, is this test? No, this is the best lap. The average lap numbers, I think. Fastest lap is a personal best for Perez this season, 1 minute 9.7. Bosu couldn't match the personal best, though. It's down to 1 minute 9.03. Gansler, who was one of the top contenders for, rather, who is the defending champion, went down a bit more on the gap, 5 seconds behind Perez, although he beat both of our drivers to fastest lap at 1 minute 8.7 seconds. Doesn't look like he's the fastest, though. Sa here beat him at 1 minute 86. And then there was also the other veteran Ramsey, 1 minute 8.3. We are nowhere near their numbers as far as fastest lap is concerned, but for now, we're pretty much happy that we managed to complete 1-2 win here. First 1-2 for our team. Results still surprising that we got 2019th here. 11th place jump for Perez and 13 places for Bosu in what is surprisingly a good start to our season today. Let's see if we get any penalties. Nope, no rules. Unfortunately, we didn't get the fastest lap bonus, which falls to Parker, which gives her an extra 1.2, or rather, extra 2 points? Was it 2 points? 1 point? Yeah, it's 2 points for being the fastest lap in the Black Sea leg of the European Racing Series 2023. Who has the worst drop this leg? Looks like it's the Singaporean. Yasir Fendi, who not only gets a +1 lap deduction, +1 lap gap, he also did 3 stops, which pretty much hurt his chances of staying in the mid pack. Meanwhile, his teammate Benjamin Merchant managed to jump 8 places up, even though he also had to do also had to do 3 stops on the way out. Probably had a better performance thanks to a reliable car or something, maybe. Really bad start for Esteva and the Lengthvis, though. These two have been top of the class for most of the previous seasons, but seeing them really low like this, not exactly a good sign. First time we got a podium finish, too. Podium and 1-2, really good start here. Now we are at 39 points at the start of the season. Not a bad start, all things considered. Currently at the top of the box, but we're only 4 points ahead of Firebird MRT, who are the actual defending champions. Really bad sign for us. My son Sam Gansler helmet just arrived. Got rid of the pictures of kids. What? Why would you do that, ma'am? Oh, somebody won on on a bet with Perez. Good work there. No, we did not make that look easy. That was actually pretty nail-biting, Mr. Keller. Nail-biting is an understatement. Let's see the headlines from Motor Racing Magazine. Perez wins the Black Sea Grand Prix. Perez has taken the top honors here in Black Sea, winning the race for Watson Industries. Vasu finished in second for the same team, with Ganser rounding out podium. Winning Watson Industries boss Amelia Watson collected the team's trophy and looked delighted as she downed a champagne. Oh no. Oh man. Oh man, why are you drinking straight from the bottle, dude? Let's see how that works for the chairman's happiness. Maybe he's gonna be convinced now. Let's see here. That's gonna be a negative on Sofia Bukalova though, since she didn't get to drive at all. Down 10%. Ooh, no changes there. Expected results were 5th, and you came 1st, with a 35% boost to happiness, but unfortunately no change in marketability, so we won't get even better sponsors for the next run, which is kind of a shame. We'll have to make do. Driver form is just 4.1 for Perez, though, which is kind of a bad start. Probably gonna need better facilities to make the most out of this. Excellent kind of money making, exactly what I like to see. We managed to get $598,000 from that one. Thanks to sponsor payment and bonuses from winning, and then the HQ income is also there. We definitely need to invest in a new setup for the building so we can get some more passive income. Dang, pole position bonus. Qualified pole. Really, really nice to see our guys up here on the podium. Kind of a rare thing to see. Didn't manage to get the engine built. Honestly, I did not expect us to get first here. Let's see how we go with the news first. Okay. Ganser did get the best lap time for practice, though. His car gonna... Ooh! This is a first. Vasu's car dropped to 27% on average, which is kind of a really nice number, considering the average we get is usually around the 30 marks. Perez, meanwhile, dropped 49, which is a bit of a bad spot. Probably, probably need to get the better parts soon. Yeah, sure. What's the question here? Yeah, Yeah, we need to build on the start here. Lee did a really good job trying to keep it in and actually taking advantage of being on top. Surprisingly, keeping her in inters for that long kept us in the competition long enough to avoid wasting time in the pits. I think we're going to be looking at that in the for the next situation where it's suddenly wet on race day. 4 pit stops, our fastest was 4.93. That's going to be the benchmark for the rest of the season. Hopefully, it's going to be broken soon. Looks like we got, yeah, this is the same one we had on new. Okay, scouting report. Cherny would be one of the weakest drivers. She has a decent amount of potential, though. Jade's chasing, so she wants to be up front. Who was that? Oh, wait. We can just click on her name. Cherny, though, okay, she's not signed to any team yet. Her feedback is awful. Jade's chasing, which drops her abilities by 2. It's kind of a shame because she could have had 19 focus by default. Club goer means she's got a good marketability, but only for 5 weeks. Nah, and no need for that. What's on the news? What else is on? Oh, there's our engine. Pit crew. Auto manager, probably gonna need to change some of those guys out. Now, what do I want to design next? What's on the calendar? Next run will be Munich. Definitely gonna need a new gearbox though. Design a new gearbox. Gonna need reliability. Acceleration is good so far, so I think we can keep. No, we can boost up reliability for that. Yes, thank you. It's less than $1 million. I'll take that. Want to give Perez the new engine, or do I want to give it to? Okay, let's give Perez. Let's give Perez the original engine from the first drive, so she can get 773. While Sue takes advantage of the new one, which we'll have to fix as soon as the guys are done fixing the car itself. We still cannot invest on new building setups in the HQ because of our because of our money issues. If I can get the road car factory going, I won't have to worry much about probably not making it through the top of the race. But as things are going, I don't think I can actually afford that, especially this early. Still no offers though. Let's give it another few days. Maybe we'll get something out of that. Let's see here. Car repairs are complete. Perfect. Now work on improving the car parts reliability. I'm gonna take which engine was it? Which one was it? Oh no. Take that out. Also going to take which one I want. There's only 2 gearboxes, and one of them has a better performance, so let's take out this guy. Through the reliability of this guy. 11 days after race, though, so that's going to be a problem. Hopefully, gearbox will arrive in time for fixing. Meanwhile, we have 3 offers for slot 1. Nihon. Are they a car company or are they something else? And bonus payment 400,000 if we break 10th or above, and you get a home race bonus of 3 times if you race in Japan. But we don't have a Japan race on the schedule right now, so that's not going to be helpful. Gustavo Cruises is just a 2-star, but they offer 800,000 up front and 400,000 on a 10th or above. And Luxina is also 2-star, but they're a bit more more lenient. 12 or above, you get a bonus of 250,000, and they also offer a 300,000 bonus. Their deal length is 6, though. Gustavo is 4, so if we can probably get at least 2 races here, that's 800,000 versus 50,000, 500,000. So I'm going to assume we can take on Gustavo Cruz's, but that implies we can actually break their bonus limit. I can't, uh, I can't really afford to have no sponsors here, so we have to take the sponsors as soon as they come. And time being, doesn't seem like there's anything we can do elsewhere here. What time is it? Almost an hour. Do I have enough time for another race? Not too sure about this. Might have to double check if I do, or we could probably just do a preview if things don't go as good as I expect. Time being, let's see what's on the report. Will be a 29 lap race. Lap record is 122. Likely rain. 40% chance on rain. Rain on race day. And it's going to be a cornering run, so we need suspension. Unfortunately, I went for gearbox. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Soft and medium. Yeah, we can definitely make some improvements in medium speed corners soon. Okay, double check, just in case. If we ever go to Dubai, yeah, we're definitely going to need new suspension for that. So I'm going to give this one to somebody who deserves it. Gearbox currently at 860. We could probably give this to no, we'll switch this over and give this to Perez while Sue gets the new part that needs fixing, and then we'll build a new suspension system. Medium speed corners and reliability. I don't want to get a red risk level car right now, so let's go for medium speed corners and reliability for now. We can also choose to drop the red zone instead, but I definitely need the speed. Speed and reliability will be helpful here. We'll get the red zone next time. 760, I'll take that. Okay, car parts still seem to be in a fix. Definitely need to upgrade this guy, though. Okay, these guys are already pretty high. 82, 80. 6 days? Are you kidding me? Definitely need some... Gonna need to get more stuff, but that requires upgrading the factory. No, that's parts development. What we need is repair crew. Oh no, dang it. Definitely need to get the factory up if you want more parts development up. I really want to upgrade these guys, but I don't have the money. I need that road card soon. I'll also get the theme park. So, alright, chances here. According to the analysts, we are still pretty much third in grid for car performance, fourth in grid for the engine, fourth in grid for the gearbox, best in grid for low speed corners, and fifth on the mediums. Not exactly a good line here. As far as overall performance is concerned, though, our team has the worst drivers and the worst pit crew. If only we had a good... a good grasp on how the weather is gonna be in Munich. Some news that I need to see? 8 days for new part. Bah. Definitely something coming up on the news. I can feel it. The crew still being auto-managed. Fixing is a bit of an issue for everybody else, though. Kiriyama, good on stamina, but not so good on tire fixing. He could refuel fast enough, though. Yabuki is at 13 for refueling, so hopefully he gets the advantage for that. Jack's not exactly a good sign. Vasu is going to be ending his contract at the end of the season. Hopefully we can ask him to stay. What else is this out qualifying for? What else do I have? Shall we try Munich then? Just try it, see if we can actually get in the pipe for that one. Really am not confident about Munich. Okay, financial management. Okay, pre-race. Gans are again the hot favorite for the next season, or for the next run. Him? Dude, that's a girl. What the heck? Shoo-in. Perez, please, don't get it in your head. We're still pretty much behind and behind everybody else. I don't think we can win here. Gansler is still a threat, and if they can fix their car parts fast enough, we're pretty much at the back for the rest of the season. Yeah, the coffers are definitely not looking too happy. Let's hope it does not impact our race performance indeed. We've only got better marketability. Okay. What was I gonna look for? No. It was something about... No, it wasn't about this. Our performance, no, it wasn't that either. Now we're in Munich. Time to cry. Oh, they already have a simulator. Nikolai Chalou, fairly decent, and he has a huge amount of potential. He has a hard time with cornering. He's good in Singapore, though. Apparently meditates, but that's just a temporary driver trait. Not gonna be helpful. Zero cornering? It's awful. Got a couple of empty slots at least. Who do we want to check? Buddy here. Oh, he checked everybody. One left, Carla John. 17-year-old Australian. We have no clear picture on her driving preference, really. We do actually, just she can drive in all three series, but her skills are still pretty much on estimate, so we don't know how good she is so far. Hopefully she'll be a good pick just as a backup. Now the real issue is, can we survive this? Because I do not feel confident at all. We're just gonna try and do a sighting run for this one. If things do not pan out, we're definitely gonna have to table it for another session, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it tomorrow. Art's pretty decent so far, so let's hope that doesn't affect us in the long run, and now we're gonna run into Munich. I don't feel too good about this. Getting windy outside. I don't like that. If you just arrived, hello. If you're wondering why the music seems to be off, I had to pause it because of the copyright bots flagging it automatically for some reason. I can't do anything about that, so I'll just have to stick it stick with it as it is. Alright, let's go for harder stiffness, some extra downforce maybe, and keep it at short gear ratios. Give Vosu the softs. He's the one who's faster and has better car parts management. Meanwhile, it's going to be a bit more softer handling maybe? No, slightly softer, some short acceleration, more downforce. And we're going to give her mediums. Hopefully that's going to be good for practice. Just 2 minutes wasted there. Keep you at 12 laps both. Good start from there, and then things can be easier later. Let's see how things pan out from here. Keep them at their standard setups. Ugh. That exit corner is going to be a pain later, I can feel it. Nothing so far. Let's see if they don't have anything. Okay, gear seems just right. That means there's still room for improvement on the gear ratios. For Vosu at least. Perez, still nothing. Setup knowledge is also going up a little too slowly. Really happy with the gear ratio? Not exactly a good feedback as far as I'm concerned. Dawson really reeling it in. But like so she's gonna snatch the best lap time run here after Sa. Yep, expected that. Wasu getting a lot of knowledge with his setup at least, and unfortunately Perez might need a fix after this lap as she's still behind. Yep, expected the wrong aero setup. Wasu, decent setup knowledge so far, not much to worry about. That's already at 6 and 45 left in practice. Let's hope he gets more knowledge soon because I'm not seeing green at all. Perez gonna have to fix her arrows as its downforce is poor. Handling is okay. So probably lower downforce, maybe? Handling could probably go for some extra hard understeer. Then maybe a good balance of speed. Keep it that way, and boom. Balsu now down to 8th as everybody else is jumping ahead of him. And he even dropped down to 10th. Setup knowledge, though, might need a bit of a boost, so let's bring him in as we now enter the last 5 minutes of practice. Looks like my fears are a bit founded in truth as our performance is going down again. Downforce could sure use a bit more reduction. Handling is perfect. Speed balance, not exactly bad, but not exactly good either. We go for a bit more downforce, a bit more speed, really. Okay, let's try this one. See if things don't go so bad for everybody else. Eee, got overtaken there. Race trim level 2. Can they get at least one green? Ow! Seriously? Dang it. We have to get Perez back in for another aero change. Apparently that's a little too bad. Last 3 minutes of practice, I don't think we're going to have a good feedback for this one. Downforce has gone down to very poor. which means they're definitely gonna have to be a bit higher downforce here, right? Handling could use a bit of a fix though. A second. Yeah, a bit more understeer. Some more speed balance maybe? More on the acceleration. Some more stiff. Okay, let's go with that. Still got some space for a comeback here for Perez. Meanwhile, Bosu is now down at 11th. Unfortunately, downforce did affect his times there. I don't think we're going to get... Oh, we still managed to get some green, though. Hopefully we can get more greens later. Ooh, 2 purples. Just need to fix the downforce a bit. So some more downforce there. Slight change in downforce could be a good sign. Just higher performance. Tire camber? No change tire camber, excuse me. Yeah, okay. I think we can go with this. See if the downforce is now going to be good enough to keep him in the running. Still got 1 minute. So let's see if they don't have any more complaints to worry about. 30 seconds. I don't think Vosu has enough time to get an outlap or get out of outlap. Nope. Nope. He's finished. Really bad performance there. 11 and 14th were both our racers. We did manage to get race trim to top 13 though. Good feedback for downforce on the end though, so that's going to be helpful. Perez still on the road and get a snapshot of her feedback for her new setup. Hopefully it's going to be helpful. Tele racing. Parker getting some seriously focused fans there. Bondi still having trouble staying in the run. Might not look too hot come race day. Speaking of too hot, weather is actually pretty nice. Cloudy so far. Can't really predict how it'll be for the longer parts of the race. Let's see. We have until lap 29, so ideally we can't do 1 lap here mostly because I don't think the parts are gonna last that long. So I think we're gonna be doing the same one we did with Black Sea. Probably switch it over around 11 or 12, then 22. That's the target. Race trim and nurse. Quick fixes and race trim. Gonna help us stay in the pipes, I suppose. Ooh! Seriously? Okay, so we went a little overboard with the handling. That's a problem. Speed and downforce, though, are also for a spot for Perez here. I don't think she's gonna be running great. So we probably have to adjust handling somewhere around here, maybe? We have some more. If we go for this one, that's gonna be okay. Probably somewhere around here. No, that counts as good. Speed balance, not exactly somewhere I want to be right now. Or maybe. Hmm. let's keep you on mediums, just in case. Keep the fuel up 24 laps. While, yeah, Bossu is going to be on softs as well. And take advantage of his speed. We'll keep Perez in durability. Strategy still the same. Let's see how far we can go with this. Fortunately, because of our standing previously, we're going to be back in the rear. So no good sign here as we're in the tail end of the race. And now lights out as we start lap 1 of the 2023 Munich Grand Prix. Oof, a bit of a traffic jam there. Looks like there was a bit of a bump up. Keeping our drivers in mediums. Probably gonna have to put them in conserve. Or we can probably stick as is as we try to stay in the middle of the pack here. Gansler having a bit of a problem staying in his position as well. Still pretty much a bit of a tight spot as the start of lap 2. Start lap 2 rather. Nothing doing so far. Tire wear, a bit of an issue already. 90% for Vosu and 92% for Perez at the start of lap 2. Still a bit of a traffic jam. Can't seem to see any breakaway points here. No, never mind. We got the first 3 drivers, or the podium drivers, already trying to break off from the pack. Although it's not exactly all cut off like that so easily. Gansler trying extensively to keep his position, but he gets run over. And he even gets blocked by Arbeloa as Vosu snatches a lead on both of them. Perez back at the rear, probably going to have to push her up as her tire wear is starting to be a bit of an issue. Same as with Vosu. Now we have to be conservative here. If we push our tires a little too far, we're gonna eat dirt. Let's try to keep them at least until lap 11. Right, Wasu is now in 16th as we enter lap 4. Surprisingly, still a bit of a bumper-to-bumper situation here with the mid-pack, but the pole position, rather the podium guys, are starting to break off. Esteva ahead and at least 5 to 10 car lengths away from Delenkvist, who's 2 seconds behind her. While Balkan, who's closing up the top 3 for now, is at least 20 car lengths behind. Mandi is also a bit distant at 4th, trying to push his engine as much as he can, but it doesn't seem to be doing him any good. The Chianuna, excuse me, Chianuna's right there, just about a wheel's length away. Could overtake him on this long, easy right. El Sadat, though, was the one that got overtaken by Chianuna, and is starting to struggle with his engine. We got the newbie Merchant already at 7th, but well behind the other ones. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a slight gap here as the rear half of the 20-car grid is starting to break off. Vosu almost got 15th there, but he got overtaken by Arbeloa again. He's now down to 17th as we enter lap 5. Not exactly looking too hot for both our drivers as tire wear is starting to get really, really concerning pretty early here. Oof. Bit of a tight squeeze on that chicane as we enter lap 6. Bosu keeping it cool, but he's now down to 59%, and it's still got 24 laps. No, it's not 24. It's still got some 23 laps to go here. Now he's up to 14th behind Arbeloa. Unfortunately, Silveira is still keeping Perez behind, while the other former leader, Dawson, is still here in the rear. Not much of a change for the top three so far, as Stella is still on top, but she's now down 49% on her tires. Delenkfist keeping it cool at 43, however. And the gap just got a little longer. Well, Balkan trying desperately to keep up with the fight, but his tires are at least at 54%, which means he still has a good chance to stay in the lead, stay in the podium once both Esteban and Delenkfist have checked in for a pit. Current pole leader Perez is now down to 20th again as we enter lap 7. Not exactly a good sign for our drivers if we're behind like this. Lalpeclua now up ahead. Ooh, Silveira got overtaken for some reason. That's a surprise. Now on to lap 8, and things are starting to really open up here. The mid-pack is now pretty much wide open. It's anybody's game. They can get out of here or get stuck in the back. Ooh, that must hurt as Fondi is now going down 2/13, getting overtaken on that big turn by Lalplecua and Vosu, apparently. Fondi trying to get back in, managed to get his 12th position back. And now it's starting to look like a race. Everybody is now in separate packs, no more traffic jams throughout the mid-pack here. Pretty big gap behind the lead, and Delenkfist is the first to call quits as he is now in the pit, switching over to mediums. Things might suddenly change here as we enter the mid part of the race. Ooh, a bit of a bump there. As Vosu tries and fails to get close to Fondi on that turn, somehow snatching the position right as we switch over here. Although, can he defend it through the chicane? That's the question. Apparently he can, and he's now pretty much in a secure 11th place spot, leaving Fondi in the dust. Perez down to 16th. But her tires are still pretty good, although the temperature might need a bit of a push-up. Vosu will definitely need a tire change after the 11th lap, as he is now down to 28%. Lalpeclua is also calling in for a pit, though. Good chance to get some places in before we start pitting everybody. Alright, gonna send Vosu up for a switch over to mediums for the time being. Yeah, okay, let's switch him over to mediums first. Then once we start running things up, we're going to switch him to softs again. I don't think he's going to need to fix that. Unfortunately, though, he's going to be behind, as everybody else are still in a good spot. Oof. Tire wear has now put him behind, as Esteva takes, or rather, yeah, Esteva snatches his position after coming out of the pits with softs. Things don't seem to be looking too hot for us right now. And there he goes into the pits as we start lap 12. Perez still in the running, but temperature conditions are gonna be eating up her tires, and she's gonna have to switch out soon. Cloudy, so far no change in weather though. No drastic change at least. As we now put Wasu up at 15th. Not as drastic a change as we thought it would be, but still behind. Can Perez snatch something out of this one and get back another pole position? Alright, let's switch her over to another set of mediums. No need to change parts, right? Ah, dang it. Oh well. Get that front wing fixed. Attack as it is. Perez is now at 7th. Bosu goes up to 13th after two guys jump into the pits again. Can they keep it for the rest of the race? No chance of getting past R below for this one as Perez goes into the pits for a change. She's now down to 11th, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean she's that far out. As now Bosu and Perez are well within striking distance of the midfield. Ramsey, a bit of a problem so far, and he is going down to conservative driving for some reason. Probably backing up to keep the other half of the midfield from joining him, but unfortunately, the Vosu got through him, and he's now in the pack back fourth. I mean, oof. Parker drops down a couple, and now Esteva is in the lead. Just starting lap 15 for this one, a 29 lap bout. Can we just keep it to 2 stops and avoid a crash is the question. %, not exactly too hot there. Gotta keep it in neutral just to keep the tires safe for a bit longer. But Ramsey is having none of that. Sneaking behind him and snatching a win on the middle of that chicane as Bosu is now down to 8th. As we enter lap 17. Question is, can we keep it up here? Tires are getting a little too cold for Bosu, so it's probably time to push in an attack. And just stick it at push as we enter lap 18. Still enough time to get back at the race leaders, hopefully. We're not exactly confident that they can keep the pace up. Who's ahead? Esteva is a part of Vexala. Sa is with Silva, and Tihinuna is with Archer. As long as we can get ahead of at least Gansler and probably... who's the other one? Gansler and Dawson? No, Dawson's also Vexala. The other one? Vulcan is Lucatelli. Not Gansler. Oh, if we can keep Parker below both of our drivers, there's a good chance that Gansler's jump in rankings will be kept low, but unfortunately we're going to lose our podium position there. So let's hope we get some better performance out of this. As we approach lap 20. Can't get through that one. Ramsey now at 6th. Balkan keeping it tight. Yeah, come on. Perez also getting some tire wear issues, so we need to drive her up now on the push. Stella seems to have some issues with our car parts now. And she is being fixed in the pit. Sa. The new Portuguese driver for Silva Racing scores another best lap record. Currently on pole, but I don't know if he can last that long. As we now go up for Perez, taking over Esteban, who got pushed up in the pit, or pushed down in the pit, rather. Bosu still at 6th. Really good chance to switch over here. We have 9 laps to go, but I think we can probably, just probably, keep it at a bit longer. Nope. I'm not taking chances. Vosu is going to switch over to some super softs. Gonna get some tires, additional fuel up. Up an extra tank there. 1, 2. Yeah, just go for 2 tanks. Front wing should be fixed. Keep it at 13 seconds. Perez will have to stick it in for the rest of the run. As we start with lap 21. Ooh, good overtake there for Perez. 21. I think you have a good chance as any to give Perez some super softs here. And no, I don't think she needs to fix her parts per se. We need to drop the fuel up. 1, 2. Okay, just go for 2. Hopefully that's going to be enough to keep her in the pipe. And well, Sue is down to 16th, unfortunately, and everybody else seems to be in a good spot to switch over. Can we stick with it and switch just in time for everybody else to go? That is the question. Gansler is now fastest lap, though. He could probably stick it to the end. He still has 27%. There's still 7 laps to go. There's still a good chance they'll have to pit at the last second, though. Let's pray we can actually get through this. Wasu now at 13th, trying to get back in the mid-pack. Perez right behind her. Right behind him, rather. With 7 laps to go here, can we get back in the middle? Uh-oh, looks like Dullingfist is having engine issues again. He's not asking for a pit stop, though, as he goes on and stays at 11th at the start of lap 23. Bosu and Perez now up to 12th and 13th, as both Merchant and Billy Yu have gone to the pits. Now, just 6 laps, or rather 7 laps to go, and no sign of rain. As the start of lap 24. Six laps. I think we could go for extra push for Perez, though. Can they stick it? I don't think they can. Gamsler and Ramsey and Delankvist are still pretty good. We should have probably put the pits earlier, but eh. Our tires aren't exactly up to snuff right now, so let's just stay as it is. Right, if you want to. It's Dawson? No. Gansler and Parker! That's a problem. Parker's right up there. She's gonna have to pit. Fortunately, since Gansler just came out fresh in the pit lane, he won't be he won't be within our striking distance unless we get lucky. Which means we're gonna lose our pole position. With better parts on the horizon for them, they're pretty much in the running for a win. Couldn't get over Parker at the last second. Perez is just behind her. While Sue, meanwhile, at 7th, just within striking distance. Oh, that's Fondi. Fondi has fallen really low. He's now 20th, and he's getting blue flagged really badly. Delinquist, who is ahead, is also still driving with some terrible engine issues and might not be able to finish the race if he's not lucky. I don't think he's not going to be lucky, though. Parker about to snatch 7th here at the start of lap 27. With only 3 laps to go. Can we keep it down for both of them? Nope. Delinquist is gone. Engine issues have taken him out again. That's 2 races in a row, and not a really good start for the Swedish veteran. And Zampelli Engineering is going to have another earful from that one. He's been having issues with Zampelli since last season. Yep, Parker is going to get a snatch here, I think. And attack. Push and attack, push and attack. We still got 51% time to get the hell out of here. Only 2 laps to go. Can we at least... crud. Can we at least keep our positions? Nope, I don't think Vosu is going to be able to defend that, and Parker gets a snatch up on him as we enter the final lap of the race. I think Firebird MRT is going to get our position on the podium now. As both Parker and Gansler gets a level up on us. Ah, come on, Vosu. Nope. Nope, no chance to get ahead. Not too shabby, nonetheless, as we managed to get a 7-8 finish for both our drivers. Although that's going to drop our team in the standings. Couldn't overtake Parker at the last second, which is kind of sad. Surprisingly, though, Silver Racing snatches a win with Sa at first, sticking it to the last with just 2 stops. Let's see our final results for the end of the Munich Grand Prix. Yep, we should have picked a bit earlier, at least, for this one, because at lap 20 we probably could have switched to softs and kept it for the rest of the race. Fortunately, we were a bit too conservative with pitting the tires and all that, so just have to settle for a bit of a drop. At the very least, though, Gansler gets a demotion to 2 places because of parts issues, so that means we're just behind Firebird MRT. So it's probably, hopefully, going to be at 2nd place at least, though we don't get the bonuses. Oof, no. Gansler is still at 1st, but he's now down to 36 points. Silver Racing's Ramsey scores 35 after that run, and Saw, thanks to her pole position win, managed to get 34. Both of our drivers are 33, though, so I think that's going to be a bit of a... Okay, that sucks. Silver Racing is now up at 69, Firebird is at 68, and Watson Industries at 66. Not exactly bad, but if they can pull away in the next race, we're done for. At least we're still in 3rd. Thanks for the support, Mr. Corbino. My psychic told me this would happen. I should have placed it. Ow. She's being carried by Silver Racing. Ooh. Too bad we couldn't get a podium win on this one, but I'll take it. At least we're still in the running. But I think with that drop in performance is a good time to call it in. Let's just check the last reports from the previous run. Driver morale dropped there for Bosu. At least Chairman's fully happy now because we snatched fourth from an expected fifth. Come on, seriously? Books are balanced, but that's a drop in our points. Tunison? What? Oh. My develop when I went up. Excuse me. Some news stuff. Unfortunately, because of that, Nurse won't be available for a couple of runs unless we can get his morale back up, which is kind of annoying. Car condition drop is a bit low though, 20%, which is probably the lowest car condition drop we had in this entire career. Obviously helped by Nurse, but still. Yes, what's the interview? Let's go with Wasu. That brings him back to 100%. Thankfully, Perez doesn't have to complain about that, so no need to worry about Nurse anymore. We broke our record for fixing, actually. 4.8 seconds for the wheels. And no mistakes, too. Decent potential, but not much. Oh, no. OCD? Dang it, dude. Not good on smoothness. Definitely not good on overtaking. Nobody else is scouted for this part of the race. We've already scouted everybody. It's everybody. Anyway, not exactly bad news, all things considered. Can't design new parts yet. Wasn't exactly the bad news I expected, but I really could have done better in that previous run. Unfortunately, we just had some really bad tire pit stop choices there, and that pretty much uh, destroyed any of our chances to stay in top two at least. Nonetheless, I'm pretty much happy with what we've managed to accomplish so far. Staying within top three early on, despite the fact that pre-season news did say that we were supposed to be having engine problems and as well a bit of tire issues as well. So hopefully we could actually build up on that next time we do this, but it's not gonna be for another few days, I think, as I probably have to do some of the other missions for Motorsport, no, not Motorsport Manager. Uh, we could be doing another radio gel mission, trying to finish the campaign with the app revisited mission. Probably do a map maker run. Not too sure about that. Or we can probably go for some Super Robot Wars and finally push up into the end game. Still deciding on that. So whatever the case, just keep an ear out on the news, or rather on the socials. Well, at least again we're pretty lucky that our performance is actually better than expected. Hopefully, we can do that again next time and get similar positive results. Well, with all that being said, if you got any complaints or violent reactions about the stream today, you can always drop me a line on my Twitter or my Pixiv. If you've got a hankering for watching some of the older streams that have already expired here on Twitch, you can always check the VOD archive linked on the About tab of my profile page. Speaking of my profile page, if you got a friend who might be interested in stuff I stream, or who just wants to complain about PNG streamers in general, please share my profile, twitch.tv/lurk. at work. That's all from me for now. Not exactly sure what's gonna happen tomorrow. Again, please stay. Uh, please keep an eye out on the socials for what's gonna be an update tomorrow. Hopefully, I can actually do something decent and equally productive. That's gonna help us get some entertainment out there. Well, whatever the case, Lurk at Work is now RTV. Thanks again for watching. See y'all when I see y'all. Good night, everybody.